the Moorside, two-part drama based but not focusing on the kidnapping or faux kidnapping of Shannon Matthews.
I tell you what, I looked at some pictures of the case and of the people, and they got this incredibly spot. I can't believe how well they've done.
Sheridan Smith is in the lead role, sort of here, playing Julie Bushby, who's sort of a very sort of proud member of the Moorside.
Julie is the focus.
Yeah, the focus. The Moorside is the estate where all these characters live, we should say. Shannon Matthews is reported missing by her mother Karen, and the Julie sort of gets the community to rally round, conducting sort of searches and marches and things like that to show the sort of support that state has.
What the community is capable of when they pull together
we know that Karen actually sort of orchestrated the kidnapping to sort of cash in on the fame. Was that?
Well, and it was sort of Maddie McCann was still going around, and she liked. You could tell
there was an episode. Was there an episode of Shameless? Was that what?
The episode of Shameless in Series 2 of Shameless, Series 1 of Shameless, turned out to be the inspiration where, in Shameless, Rebecca Ryan's character, Debbie, takes a young child from a party and hides them within the house. She takes him, she realises it's wrong, but then can't get him back without people, suspecting her. So she hides him within the Gallagher house, and then the episode is really well done, and it's the Gallaghers trying to get them back. Meanwhile, the estate is going mad trying to find this young boy.
Yeah.
So there's parallels there.
There. Gemma Whelan, as you were alluding to before, I did not realise, and I watched Game of Thrones, as you know, as does Gary. She plays, can't remember her first name, but she's Theon Greyjoy's sister, who is played by Alfie Allen.
Joyce?
No. it's Una or something, not Una, but
it's
something
an old
like
lady's
that.
name anyway.
Yeah. And in that, she's very sort of forthright and like, what's a good way to describe her? Sort of like ballsy. She's very ballsy, and in this she was sort of very not reserved, but what's a good way to put it? Like almost a bit.
I don't know how to describe her. She's sort of spaced out. She's subdued,
spaced out. And the other sort of lead character in this is Natalie, who is she related to Karen somehow, or
no? They're just
next door neighbour.
Next door neighbour. I loved how they just all walked into
by Euros Holmes.
Sean Brooke. I wanted to ask two things, because there's two things we've mentioned before on this very podcast, folks.
Okay.
A, the fact that it was a true story and you knew where it was going and you knew what it was about, did that distract?
I think a little bit. I think they struggled to find enough material to fill a drama. There was a lot of the similar things of all these things that Julie was organising.
My other question to you specifically, particularly as you're the only one here, is you criticised Appletree Yard, which is a recent BBC One drama, for portraying a world that you felt you didn't belong in, and it was all upper class, and you didn't feel like you fitted. This was the complete opposite. Were you more at home here than you were there?
These were more likeable characters, I think. Especially, Sheridan Smith is such a good actress. It's hard not to like her in anything. And, I believed in their world partly because it was a true story. I couldn't buy into the world of Appletree Yard. It felt too fictionalized for me. Whereas this, because you knew it was a true story, there was a sense of realism to it. So you could buy into the world. And because generally what, Julie and the community were doing was a good thing, it was hard not to like them and not hard to sympathise with them.
But going back to my initial question, somebody came. I really enjoyed this. We haven't really talked about whether you liked it or not. I really enjoyed it. I found it.
I don't think I liked it as much as a lot of people did. I didn't struggle with it like I struggled with Legion.
Will you watch the second? Will you watch the second half?
Definitely.
Yeah. I found this remarkably funny as well. I loved the Kel Pol scene.
You could see Sally Wainwright writing this, couldn't you? You could see
I loved the Kel Pol scene, and I think it was funnier because I knew it was true. And so, if somebody had put a scene in where somebody overdoses on Kel Pol, ordinarily I wouldn't have laughed, but I think because I knew it was real. Also, my favourite bit was the brown-eyed girl thing from Van Morrison. It was just
when
so
she
out of the
started
blue.
dancing to the. Everyone else wasn't a particularly recognisable face. You know, like Gemma with Sean Brooke didn't look like characters you previously seen.
No.
A lot of the other ones, like her partner, was it Craig? Just seemed like a normal bloke.
He was superb.
He was just like we said. I mean, something I said about Scott and Bailey before, like the supporting actors in that, you could just believe as normal.
They ground it, because they're just so ordinary.
And in this, they feel like people who live on those estates. I think again that was you bought into the world because of the performances, because you didn't particularly know these actors. You compared it to Apple Tree Yard. You know Emily Watson, you know Mark Bonner, you know Ben Chaplin. You know they were.
I just thought I'd bring up Apple Tree Yard.
I know.
It's two very different worlds.
Yeah, it's two different worlds, and it's a good comparison because this you felt a lot more immersed and you felt it a lot more realistic. So yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a very easy watch. I mean, I read about Julie Busby was interviewed about it, and she said, you know, she wasn't that bothered either way. She'd probably tune in. To be honest, Karen would probably like all the attention.
I loved all the bits where that they alluded to Madeleine McCann. I liked, you know, her taking the was it the teddy bear into the press conference, because Madeleine McCann's mum always had a cat that Maddie liked, and there was a bit where she's showing it off to the cameras. So if you want to catch up with this, it's on the iPlayer now, and the next episode, the final of the two, will be on BBC One on Valentine's night.
The concluding chapter, as they would call it.
But I'm invested. I think actually it's going to be more interesting the second half to see how the community backlash. Yeah.